Hi everyone, I'm Jackson Roberts, a senior here at the Harvey School, and on behalf of the rest of the community, I am pleased to welcome in a special guest today at Harvey, the 4th annual Harvey Presents, Mike Lupica. Mr. Lupica, thanks so much for a few
Jackson,
minutes.
thanks for having me.
No, not a problem at all. The first question I have for you is, why did you want to go into sports writing?
You know, from the time I was 10 and 11 years old, my parents told me I was writing adventure stories with me as the star. And then when I got to Bishop Girton High School in Nashua, New Hampshire, I just was able to combine my love of reading and writing with my love of sports. And I started writing sports for the Nashua Telegraph in Nashua, New Hampshire. I got paid $5 a story. When I got to Boston College, I worked for 3 school papers. I worked nights at the Boston Globe. I wrote for the Boston Phoenix. So I was chasing my dream at a pretty young age.
What was your favorite story you wrote?
Oh, in my whole career,
Yeah.
you know, I've been thinking about them. As I was talking to your dad today at the Harvey School, I've been trying to think about the favorite pieces I've written, and they always are, most of the time they're about the big event. Kirk Gibson's home run in the World Series, the ball rolling through Bill Buckner's legs, the Red Sox comeback against the Yankees in 2004, obviously the Lake Placid Olympics, but also it's also the smaller stories that you're able to do. Jockeys on the backstretch, trainers in boxing.
Sure.
Somehow, you know, Jimmy Breslin taught me that sometimes the smaller the way into the story, the bigger the piece becomes in the end.
Now, how about some of the challenges you faced when you first started?
The only challenge I faced from some people was that people didn't think somebody as young as I was should have been writing a column in New York, but I didn't think that there was any rule that had ever been passed that said you couldn't do what I was doing and be 23 or 24 years old. And when giants of the game like the late, great Red Smith sort of took me under their wing, and Pete Hamill did and Jimmy Breslin did, everything else was just background noise.
And what advice would you give to aspiring writers today?
I would tell them to write. And I know that the opportunities are dwindling, but I really believe that if you have talent and you have a passion for this, somebody will find you. And so write for the school paper, find some town paper to write. And as I said to the audience today, make sure every time you write, it's your best work, because you never know who's going to see it, and somebody might see it and change your life.
Now, a few questions here about professional sports.
Sure.
The Giants, they're on a bit of a losing streak
Right.
now, and a few games left to go in the season. Do you still think they can make the postseason, or is that completely
No, they're
done?
not going to make the postseason. Maybe their last chance was today against the 49ers, and Eli threw 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
And the defense finally showed up for the first time all year. They got a gift touchdown on the first 49ers drive when Frank Gore just dropped the ball. But after that, they didn't score another touchdown the rest of the day because Eli kept throwing it to the wrong colored jersey.
Aside from today's game, what do you think of the way Eli's played this year?
I think he's played relatively well. It's going to be very interesting because he's going to need to get paid again after this season.
Right.
And they're going to have to pay a guy who's going to be 34, 35 an awful lot of money. And I think they are a great distance away from that second Super Bowl. And it's like an object receding in the rearview mirror. And I don't think there's any connection to those Super Bowl teams except Eli and Tom Coughlin.
If Eli's here next year, do you think Tom Coughlin will be coaching him, or will it not be Coughlin?
I think if the bottom falls out on this season, which it looks like it might, I think this might. And I have unbelievable respect for Coach Coughlin. I go back to Boston College with him, but I think they may make a change.
Now let's switch from blue to green here. How about the Jets? You told me before your feelings on Rex Ryan, but do you think he will be here next season?
No, I do not. I think he needs to go coach somebody else's football team, and they have to bring in a more offensive-minded head coach.
Now, in baseball here, the Mets recently moved the fences in a second time, but other teams don't seem to have trouble hitting home runs there. Do you think they're doing the right thing here?
I do. I think that there are parts of that ballpark that are very difficult to hit balls out.
Really?
And I don't think they're going to turn it into a boutique ballpark. I think the Mets are going to be really good next year. I think that there's as good a chance, and maybe a better chance, that the Mets are in the playoff as the Yankees.
What do you think of the Michael Kadire signing?
I think it's a good signing. I do. But, you know, when you're going to start off with Harvey, Wheeler, and DeGrom next year, it's pretty good.
What do you think they need to work on, though? Or what do they need to continue to go after this offseason?
I don't know. I'd still would like to see them get a top-flight shortstop. I think it's a big position, and I'm not sure Flores is the answer.
Now, and you talked about A-Rod with my dad a few minutes ago. Do you think he's going to make an impact? I mean, obviously, it will be a media circus. How about what he
I don't
produces?
think. He's going to turn 40 next year. He's got 2 surgical hips. I actually think he's going to end up limping away. Listen, I always say, there's 2 things I always tell people on the radio. I'm never afraid to say I was wrong or I don't know.
Right.
I think he's going to end up limping away from baseball.
Mr. Lupica, thank you very much for a few minutes.
Thanks, Jackson. Good luck with your dreams.
No, thank you. Once again, I'm Jackson Roberts, a senior here at the Harvey School. Thanks for watching.